Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. This is Pamela, and you are watching Pam Entertainment TV, where we review movies, television series, and incidents in pop culture to see how those incidents affect our daily lives. Listen, I don't have much to talk about, but I just wanted to make sure I came back on here to be consistent. So listen, we're just going to go over briefly some celebrity news, what's been going on in the blogosphere, all of that good stuff. Let's see. Where are we? Oh, what I want to do is just let's see what's going on in the blogs. Let's go. I do want to go over one story that happened last week. I haven't seen much follow-up to it as of this week. I know it was big last week, and that is Funky Dineva, a.k.a. Quentin Latham. So Quentin Latham, a.k.a. Funky Dineva, he was on his show, Fox Soul, and he made some disparaging comments about Chloe Bailey. So let's give some insight. Basically what happened is that the internet got the panties in a bunch about the fact that there was some videos of Halle Bailey with her boyfriend DDG. She's walking. The video shows her walking into a room and then going because there's a camera set up and he's on camera. Well, she walks away from the camera and then comes back and walks toward the camera. And I'm thinking that she has like a towel or something over her face. Well, anyway, she walks back and it appears like she's pregnant because her stomach appears to be swollen. The second piece of evidence that they had why the internet was speculating that she was pregnant was the fact that Chloe went to the Beyonce concert, I think the first or the second night that she was in Atlanta. And she had on this big, huge Valentino pink-like shirt with some flats. And, everyone thought, because, Chloe is a little not Chloe, but Halle is a little fashionista. And that just seemed kind of outside of what she has been showing us that she wears. Anyway, she did a meet and greet with a couple of fans, and in that meet and greet, y'all, she had this, like I said, she had this pink little thing. She went to hug the girl, and the shirt kind of laid on her belly, which looked like she was pregnant. And so that sent the internet into a blaze, child. Everybody's got all these think pieces about whether or not Halle is pregnant. So on Fox Soul, Funky Dineva gets on there and he says that, he's talking about the pregnancy, and he's like, well, she's clearly pregnant. We don't know. And they were going back and forth. I remember it was Al and Funky were believing that Chloe should be telling Halle should tell people when she's pregnant, so that we can, and according to Al, so that we all can rejoice in her pregnancy. Then, which was kind of off to me. You can't make anybody tell you that they're pregnant. You can't out anybody like they're pregnant. There is a reason why they're not telling the masses or the public that they're pregnant, or if they're not pregnant. That is one of those things as women. Women normally don't tell anybody within the first trimesters, except for close family or friends, that they're pregnant, because of the fact that we all know that part of the pregnancy can be precarious, and they could have a miscarriage. All kinds of things could happen during that point of your pregnancy. So a lot of times, women do not disclose their pregnancy until about their 4th month, into going into the 2nd trimester. So with Al, that was just like, I don't know if I would tell somebody they needed to do that. Well, Funky decides that he is going to just stand in a quagmire of self-righteousness. And in him doing that, he makes a statement about Chloe. And he says, I don't like that girl. She's so inauthentic. First she comes out, she's this little ingenue. I'm paraphrasing. Then she wants to make us seem that she is like this sexually liberated, promiscuous young lady. Now she wants to come out and be like a little gangster. And why he said that about the gangster had everything to do with Chloe defending her sister. Like, y'all are not, Chloe did a live. And she was like, y'all are not going to come at my sister. I'm not going to let y'all come at my sister like that about anything. We protect our people over here. So that's where he was getting the gangster from. And then he says all of that. And then he starts to go in on Chloe about her looks. Talking about she's tired. She's ugly. She shouldn't have put her face up on the screen with no makeup, yada, 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 yada. So he got a lot of backlash. Fox Soul got a lot of backlash from black women. And a lot of that had to do with the fact that Chloe's unproblematic. Even though she's going through these growing pains with her career and all those different things like that. And everyone has their own opinion about that. But for him to go in on this girl's looks, and I call her a girl because she's young enough that she could be my child. So I don't mean any disrespect. It's just that I look at Chloe as she's a young woman. She's in her 20s. And if I say girl, I don't mean it as I think that she's childish. I just, she could be my child. Anyway. So he goes in on her looks, and the internet is ablaze. His commentary goes all across the blogs, it's all across Twitter, aka X, Instagram, Facebook. Everybody's having their think pieces about it. So Fox Soul gets a wind of all of this, and there's a lot of repercussions behind it because Fox Soul starts losing subscribers, and it is my understanding that Funky Dineva's page had lost some subscribers as well. And so Fox Soul, kind of emailed him and talked to him and told him that it was important for him to apologize for what he says. So he does an apology. Now, he says, I'm not apologizing for the things I said in regards to her being inauthentic, her album's not selling, all those different things. He apologized for the fact that his commentary should have stopped at that. He was apologizing because for what he said out of pocket about her looks. And I don't know if that was enough, because he doubled down on what he said. And then, because people were wanting a very contrite apology for him, and he wasn't going to give that. So I don't know exactly if, I've heard a lot of people do their little think pieces. I do know that Fox Soul deleted that whole show from their lineup. So you can't go to Fox Soul's YouTube page and find that whole show. And you can't even find the clips of him saying that. You got to go to the blogs and everything like that, because they screen recorded everything and stuff like that if you wanted to hear the exact words that he said. So, everyone has an opinion, everyone has commentary, and here is my commentary. Number one, like I said before, Halle doesn't owe us anything. The only thing that Halle owes us is the music and the product that she puts out. And that's the same thing with Chloe. That's what they owe us, the product that they put out in terms of their writing, their music, their producing, their singing, and all those different things, because that is their job. That is what they signed up to do. In regards to their personal lives, they don't owe us nothing. They don't owe us a single thing. They can say what they want about their personal lives, or they can say nothing about their personal lives. That is not what's owed to the public, and we have no right, though we do ask for it, but we don't have any right to ask them for that type of stuff. That's not for us to do. That's number one. Number two, it's one thing to have an opinion and talk about the body of work that Chloe does. It's a whole nother thing. It's a whole nother level to go in on someone's looks. All right. No one wants you to talk. No one, and I don't care who they are. No one wants you to talk ill of their looks, because that's something that they can't change. You put on all the makeup in the world, and you can put on all the makeup in the world, and you can enhance what you have, but you can't change how you look. You can't change what you look like in terms of facial features. You can't change none of that. Even if you diet and exercise, you can change your overall body mass and your overall body weight, but that has nothing to do with your God-given looks. It just doesn't have anything to do with that. And I think because has been, if you all are not aware, there has been a big discourse online, and particularly about gay men talking about heterosexual women. So homosexual men talking about heterosexual women. And there has been a big discourse about that. And that's not what this is about. But I did want to bring that up because there's a lot of discourse about that. And so you have a lot of women now that are heterosexual women that are now feeling some kind of way. Because they're feeling some kind of way because out of all of the people, when you talk about heterosexual men, heterosexual women, heterosexual women have been, have assumed the role of allyship with those in the LGBTQIA community. And I will say in particularly black heterosexual women. And they're feeling right now that the LGBTQIA, and I'm lumping the whole community together because they are a community. I'm lumping the whole community together because they are a community and they need to be policing their own. That they're feeling like, and particularly in that community, the trans women community, that heterosexual women are feeling like that they're trying to come in and take over their community with what their values and their things are. And so you have a lot of people, there's a lot of pushback behind that. So that's the discourse that we had on that. There's a whole lot of stuff within that. I think the thing that people tend to look at is that there's a double standard. The LGBTQIA community can talk about heterosexual people, but when heterosexual people say something about them, then heterosexual people are being viewed as homophobic, transphobic, all the phobics. And so there is a discourse on that. So tell me what y'all think about that. That is that in a nutshell. Like I said, it was a story that was big last week, but it was one of those stories where it's so many nuances going on. It requires a huge, it just requires too much that I didn't have the bandwidth to do. So let's move on to this next topic. We have some some very sad news coming out of Florida, where we had over the weekend, we had a shooting at a Dollar General where the shooter has written several manifestos where he is racist. He does not like black people. He did not like black people because he is no longer with us. He went into a Dollar General and he killed 3 people and then he killed himself. So it was targeted. He wanted to target black people. Again, he wrote 3 manifestos, one to his folks, one to the news, and one for law enforcement. And in each one of those manifestos, according to the police chief of Jacksonville, Florida, where this incident occurred, he made sure to let them know that the reason why he killed who he killed is because he didn't like black people. It was also reported that he had gone to a HBCU in Jacksonville, Florida, but he was not allowed entrance. So kudos to them for recognizing there was something wrong with this young man. They did not allow him on campus for any reason. So he could not carry out his plan of killing more people. 3 is more than enough. I don't want anybody to mishear me. But he couldn't carry out his plan like he wanted to. And therefore, he then reluctantly went to the Dollar General, where he then proceeded to kill 3 people. So thoughts out to those folks who are now affected by this. The 3 people, the innocent people that he killed, their family, their friends, all of their loved ones, and also all those in their community that's affected. And a lot of this has a lot to be sounded off on Ron DeSantis in regards to his policy of black folks within the state of Florida. He is wanting to, and he has, with the help of the Daughters of the Confederacy, and they're revamping into other groups and agencies and things of that nature. Revamping where they're taking all things related to African American history. They are rewriting history, trying to make it seem that slavery was a good thing for everybody. Jazz hands, jazz hands, jazz hands. And they're trying to rewrite that history because of the fact that it's amazing to me. Well, I can tell you, this is just it. Memas and papas do not want to have to explain to their grandkids why they're standing in front of, because these people are still alive. And let me be very clear. These people that did all of these atrocities, these lynchings and things like that, there is a big sector of these people still alive. And the reason why I say that, this is in my mother's lifetime. My mother is 70 something years old. And this happened within her lifetime when she was a little girl growing up in the 40s, in the 50s, and in the 60s and things of that nature. This is in her lifetime. I've got great aunts that are still living. This is in their lifetimes, that these are the things that have happened. They're in their 80s. They're in their 80s and they're in their 90s. So these are people who are almost 100 years old, who have lived through these atrocities. So that just tells me a lot of these memas, a lot of these papas don't want to have to tell these kids, these grandkids, these great grandkids that are sitting around here, why they did what they did. And so they feel like, oh, well, if I change the history so it looks a little bit favorable to me, it's still bad, but I want it to look a little bit favorable. They don't want to have to talk about those things. So they're trying to whitewash that. Well, they have successfully whitewashed African American history in the state of Florida. And I think one of the things, and this is just my opinion, one of the things that boggles my mind is the fact that all the things and all the amenities and things like that now these some immigrant communities have come in, and they get these perks. It's all been on the backs and the blood of the African Americans, especially the descendants of the African Americans that have died for a lot of that stuff. And then you come in and you prosper off of it, and then now you want to negate it, or you want to be somebody that walks in. And I don't care what community you come out of. You can come in from the Asian community. You can come in from the Latina community. You can even come in from the continental African community. They come in and they peek the benefits off of it, and then they look their nose down at the descendants of African American slaves. They look their nose down at those people as if, oh, well, we don't understand. That doesn't mean anything. We're the better minorities. We're the better this. All y'all do is complain. Okay. Because they use you to further those narrow beliefs that they have, and you're happy and fine to do that until they turn on you. Let's not forget for the past 20 plus years, anybody that stated that they were of the Islam faith, they've been coming at you. Let's not forget 30, 40 years ago, if you were from Central and South America, my brown people, they were coming at you. My Haitian brethren. Because America always needs a black or brown person to revile as the enemy. And here we are right now. I don't even see, they don't have a reviling enemy on set. Because, you know, you remember when you talk about when you had this big war on drugs, you had the likes of Manuel Noriega, and that was in Panama. You had the whole situation of Colombia. They were all upset and riled up with y'all brown people. Then you go over on the African continent. It was Muammar Gaddafi you had issues with. It was Saddam Hussein you had issues with. And let's be very, very clear. All those people that I just listed were in the good graces of the United States. The United States funnels in a whole lot of money to these people. Offered the people who were suffering, because once they no longer had control of these people, the United States allowed sanctuary for a lot of you all to come in. Cuba. Why y'all not down there with Castro and them? Allowed all of these relationships, and then you all come over here and work the dream. Work it. But don't sit up here and thumb your nose or dog out or try to act like those of us whose ancestors can be traced back to slavery here on this continent thumb your nose at us. That's not cool. It's not cool. And it's not, I'm not anti anybody, but I just want it to be very, very clear that the mainstream America loves you until they hate you. And even in that love, they don't like you. But that's all I got. Like I said, I just wanted to be on here for some consistency and to go over what's been going on in the news. What do y'all think about these two topics? Put it down in the comments. I think I'll try to get another video in before this week is out. I'm trying to see, is there anything else? I think the Jonathan Majors case is going to trial next week, so I'll cover that information. Lizzo came out and she has, it looks like she's fighting back. I don't think she's countersuing. I'm not really sure. But she's come out and she's shown some videos and things like that of the people who have initially put the lawsuit out on her, looking like they were having fun or anything like that as far as at that Amsterdam show. Because all of this kicked off about this Amsterdam show. So she's come out with some video evidence and information showing that the plaintiffs were having a good time. They did not indicate that there was an issue and problem. So that's what she's come out with. So she's bucking up against that. Let me see. I don't think there's anything else. I know today we had a little incident with old Mitch McConnell. And you remember a few weeks back, Mitch McConnell had kind of frozen. The press had asked him a question and he kind of zonked out for maybe like 30 or, up to a minute. And then his handler scuffled him away, and then he came back and he answered some questions. So today he's had an incident as well where he could not speak. He didn't seem to understand where he was at. He just went blank again. At this point, I blame his handlers. I blame those people because they see that there is a health condition going on with him where he does not look strong or he does not look fit for the office. Now, I don't his politics. I'm not a fan of his politics. However, as someone who understands people in health and health crises, he doesn't look healthy. And it is a disservice to his constituents, and it's a disservice to him to continue to trot him out here when it's clearly there is some health issue going on that he needs to address. And I think that issue is more important than him being a senator. I think that it is time that he step down and allow for someone to come in and take his place. What that does with the power dynamics in Washington, I don't care. But it's a disservice. Like I said, it's a disservice to him. It's a disservice to his constituents. It's a disservice to have this man that clearly seems that he is having some health issue. I'm not a doctor, so I'm not going to try to qualify what health issue that he is having. But he's clearly having a health issue to the point where he gets aphasic at some time. He's not speaking. He can't, whatever it is, he's not able to pull that information out. And so that's just it. Let's see. Is there anything else? I'm looking at the blogs, y'all. I don't think so. There was nothing that just kind of stood out to me. I no longer watch Real Housewives of Atlanta and all of those things. And I think all those kind of things are topping the news at this point. So, for all my people out in Florida and in Georgia, y'all stay safe out there. This hurricane or tropical storm is literally beating the hell at y'all, and y'all need to, leave, because it's not about that the hurricane winds or the tropical storm winds are strong. It's the water. Water this year has shown to be stay out there water. If you can leave and not be in the low-lying areas and have any flooding and stuff like that, stay out there water. The water has shown to, whatever the living waters have shown that they have a problem with us, and if we can stay out of this water as much as we can, please do so. Again, we do this every week. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know in the comments what you think about any of these topics, particularly with Mitch McConnell. What are y'all thinking about Mitch McConnell and his aphasic episodes, or his episodes of not being able to speak, or, him frozen in time, it looked like? Tell me what y'all think about that. Tell me what you think about, if you know anything about the Funky Dineva incident. Tell me what you think about that. All right, people. We do this every week. And as always, people, bye-bye.